And so, as we said, there is a deportation dilemma. Either you abandon sanctuary cities and empower the federal law enforcement to remove bad people, or you force federal law enforcement to carry out undercover raids that Democrats hate so much. It's hard to have it both ways. Congressman Glen Ivey, perfect guest for this topic, Democrat from Maryland. Before Congress, served as an assistant U.S. attorney and as Prince George's County State's attorney. It's good to see you, sir. As always, we appreciate. I have said many times you are a leading voice in the Democratic Party, one who's willing to talk to everybody, and we appreciate that. How is it, in an intellectually honest sense, can Democrats say they want to deport criminals but keep sanctuary city laws and not have ICE raids?
Actually, we've been doing it for decades. So when I was a local prosecutor in the state's attorney's office, and that was from 2002 to 2010, we had MS-13 in my district. We prosecuted MS-13. In fact, we did a joint prosecution with the U.S. attorney at the time, Rod Rosenstein, who later became the acting attorney general for Donald Trump. And so what you do is, just like with any other criminal element, you get warrants to arrest them. You go to court, you put together your probable cause determination, the judge signs it, you put a team together, and you go arrest them.
All well and good. There's a difference, and there's the catch here, I think you know this, between an ICE detainer and a warrant. And you brought up Prince George's County, I'm glad you did. ICE arrested Renee Popchub, a Guatemalan national charged with murder and assault after the Prince George's County Department of Corrections failed to honor an ICE immigration detainer. ICE and the FBI arrested David Alejandro Oriela Alderman, a Salvadorian national charged with possession of a firearm, extortion, terrorist affiliation, and he was arrested in Hyattsville. ICE arrested Jamal Benjamin Hears, a Jamaican national convicted of first-degree murder and assault in Prince George's County. ICE Maryland arrested Abriel Bersen Escobar, 30-year-old citizen of Mexico. Escobar's criminal history includes a conviction for felony third-degree sexual assault against a victim in Prince George's County. There is a difference between a warrant and an ICE detainer. Again, wouldn't it be a lot simpler if saying to ICE, we will honor the ICE detainers, and therefore ICE doesn't need to go into the community and find these people once they're released?
They're not going into the community to get those people, by and large. They're casting very broad nets, and they're picking up lots of people who they think are Latino, and then they sort them out later. That's what's going on. It's essentially a racial profiling scenario. That's why they roll up on like a parking lot in front of a Home Depot or something, grab everybody, and then sift them out. Now, if they actually wanted to go to the Home Depot because there's a guy there with a charge that you're talking about.
You don't have a problem with that?
No, not at all. I used to do those. I used to do those.
Right, but wouldn't it be a lot easier? You wouldn't have to do that, right? Wouldn't it be a lot easier? Wouldn't Democrats have a lot higher moral ground to stand on if they said, look, we will honor ICE detainers. We will end sanctuary city laws in return for no raids at Home Depots?
I suppose you could do that, but the Constitution already has something laid out. That's called the Warrant Clause. And one of the reasons we have the Warrant Clause is because the British did exactly what you're talking about. So to cut that down...
So you're saying ICE detainers are unconstitutional?
No, I'm not saying that. But if you want to make an arrest, get a warrant. And especially for a violent crime like what you're talking about. And by the way, if you've got somebody that's been arrested already and he's being held in a prison or a jail, and you know that he's got the charges you're talking about, get the arrest warrant.
Right.
They have to release him to the people who come with the warrant. Now, it might not be ICE. Usually it's like whoever.
Right, no, I get that. But there's a difference here, which is that if someone's here illegally and they're charged with a crime, sanctuary cities don't honor ICE detainers. We can all agree on that. That's what that means, right?
I think by and large, yeah, depending on what they're going after them for, yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting back to this point. How can Democrats say, we want to deport any criminal alien?
I don't know that people are saying it the way you're saying it, but if they're criminal, and that means they committed a violent offense or some kind of criminal offense, you can get a warrant to arrest them, period. And we were doing that before ICE and Trump popped up. Before January 2025, that's exactly how we did it, all the way across the country, and we've been doing it like that for decades.
So here's Tom.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.